In this chapter, we will discuss about the productivity and production of an ecosystem. Now, we need to understand the basic difference between these two words first. So, when I say production or production, that is a particular area, okay, and when I say a productivity, the same area, but let's divide this area into the different parts. Now the productivity is what happened in this particular space or this particular square, right? So it is per square kilometer. Per square kilometers. So the production is that entire range, entire area, that how much for example, like how much you are growing is all particular area, that's a production. The productivity is that per square kilometer. So the relation can be per square kilometer into total area. It will give you production. Now we will discuss these production and the productivity with respect to the energy. So what is the energy production in the whole area and what is the energy production in a per square kilometer? Now there are different factors on which this thing depends. For example, like if we talk about the productivity, so the first thing, it is the primary production depends upon the primary producer. So I can say primary production depends upon primary producer. I think it's pretty much obvious, right? Second thing is that size of the producer is nowhere related to the efficiency of primary production. I think you can understand this thing. Size of the producer is nowhere related to the efficiency of the primary production. Means that just imagine basically the hydrilla. Yes, I think that is a perfect example. Hydrilla stays under the water and it does the photosynthesis a lot more than a big giant tree on the surface. Now this is where we can say that yes, the size of the producer is nowhere related to the efficiency of the primary production. Similarly, the size also doesn't matter for the photosynthetic matter. So you can also add one more point here, is that the size doesn't matter. Size does not matter photosynthetic process. And you can give an example of hydrilla. So that is the main 3 points that you should know about the production and the productivity. And more importantly, the primary productivity is the rate of fixation of the radiant energy of the sun. You can also mention it if you want. That the primary productivity is basically the rate of fixation of radiant energy of the sun. So these are the main 4 points which defines the productivity of an ecosystem. Now on basis of that, we will we will study the different areas and different surfaces of our ecosystem on the basis of the productivity. So for example, first one, the terrestrial ecosystem we'll talk about. So we'll start from the highest to the lowest. Okay, so the first one, the highest productivity in an ecosystem are found in, marshes. Let me change my pen. Marshes, or you can say swamps, right? And then, so shall I also number it also first, right? This is around approximately uh, 9,000 kilocalories, I think, per meter square per year. Okay, so marshes has the highest one, and then it goes to tropical forest or rainforest, right? Tropical rainforest, and this is around 5,500, I think, 500 kilocalories and everything same. Then it is the coniferous. So because in the MCQs in the prelims, they can ask you these things, that arrange the following in the ascending or descending order as per their productivity in a terrestrial ecosystem. In that case, you should have a brief idea of all these things, kilocalories, right? And then savanna, it is around I think 3500 kilocalories. Then agricultural land, and for the agricultural land it is 3000 kilocalories. Then it is temperate grasslands, it is around 2900, I think. And then it is tundra regions, and for the tundra region it is 1000. And then finally we have deserts, and for the desert it is around 500 kilocalorie per meter square per year. Alright, so you can remember this sequence because this will help you a lot in solving many MCQs if they ask you on this basis. So this is for the terrestrial ecosystem. Now we'll talk about the aquatic ecosystems. So second, for aquatic ecosystem. So for the aquatic, the first one can be estuaries, that is around 9,000 kilocalories per meter square per year. Then it is about the lakes, or you can say streams also. This is around 2500 kilocalories meter square per year. Then continental shelf, that is for 1500 kilocalories. And then we have open oceans, which is around 1000 kilocalories. So this is for the aquatic ecosystems. Now this was everything. It was about the productivity. So let me write it. It is for productivity. All right, now we'll talk about productions. So for production, so it's an overall number for the production. It goes with starting from open sea, that is basically 200 billion kilocalorie per year, right? We won't write meter square here, right? Because this is a production. In the productivity, we will write the meter square per year. So that first is the open sea, then the tropical rainforest, which is around 180 billion kilocalorie per year. Then it is temperate forest, that is 120 billion kilocalorie per year. Then savanna, that is 60 billion. Then coniferous, which is 50 billion kilocalories per year. Then it could be continental shelves, which is like 45 billion kilocalories per year. Then agricultural land with 40 billion kilocalorie per year. Then estuaries, I think it is 30 billion. Then swamps and marshes with 20 billion. Okay, there is no space. Then it, so I'm continue this thing. Shall I continue it here itself on the next page? Then it would be lakes and streams, which is around 15 billion kilocalorie per year. And then it is tundra and desert with 10 billion and 8 billion. All right, so this is what you need to remember, but don't remember these digits, right? 200 billion, 180 billion. This is just for the reference perspective. They won't ask you these things, but yes, they may ask you these words, that for the production, arrange them in ascending descending. Maybe they can ask you savanna, estuaries, and swamps. Which one has a higher production? Then you should say it is savanna. So this is how you can, they can ask you, and you can earn marks over these. And because these are the basic things, and we should know, and these are the free marks. Like, you just have to read once, and you know how they work. So that's it. So let's move to the next chapter.